have some things to talk about later on with that, as to what I think that means, right, and what that is about. So that was the high for the month, man. My low for the month was I was like chilling with somebody during the Super Bowl, and it was a spot where it was just like I probably shouldn't have, like, I shouldn't have been there. You know what I'm saying? I jumped back into hey Igor, what's up? Yasmin, hey guys. I jumped back into trying to meet different people, dating, XYZ. And it just gets really hard. It gets hard out there when you are trying to, say, hey, you're praying and you're trying to navigate life and all that. And it gets a little tough, So I found myself in a place where I probably shouldn't have been with someone I shouldn't have been with, where it's like, I don't really want to be here. I don't really see you in this way, but I'm here. So the low really comes from wasting time, and I think sometimes we want to make these connections which are necessary, right? Which are necessary. Hey Igor. Hey, yes, which are necessary. Message Clothing, what's up? Which are necessary to have these connections, because we're social beings. But we just have to understand that you never want to do something at the detriment of yourself, right? You never want to do something where you are putting yourself maybe at risk. And this is what I got this month. Yo, you don't want to do that, because it's just not worth it. I talked about this last month about texting and driving. Like, is it really worth it? Is the person, everyone's important, but is it really worth it right now to send this message out? You feel me? So it's the same thing with wanting connections, with wanting whatever, a job, anything, man. Just never do something at the detriment of yourself and your well-being. Flow you, love you, take care of you, and just know that you are special. And with knowing that, it'll hopefully help you and help me to set ourselves up right and correctly. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Hey, what's up, Zeke? That's one thing that really, came over me in regards to that low moment that I was sharing. So the monthly themes, for this month, these things that have been reoccurring throughout the month that I had to wrestle with, is what we're going to jump into right now. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. All right. What's up, everybody? What's good? That was super quick. Super quick commercial break. So themes for this month. There were 3 themes that stuck out to me. These 3 themes, they kept reoccurring, and I had to wrestle with them throughout the month. One was about comparison. The second one was about legacy, leaving a legacy. And the last one was about reconnecting. So let's talk about these things. Comparison, man, I realized that comparison, I know Jonathan McReynolds, I think he had a song where he mentioned, comparison kills, right? Comparison could really be a disease to you. It can turn into envy, right? It can turn into something that's not pleasant for you. And when it comes to comparing, you have to ask yourself the question, does it serve a purpose? Like, why am I doing this right now, right? I was at my sister's baby shower this month, and that was a dope time. And we're at my cousin's house. He has a Airbnb. He's very successful. And I started to compare. I was like, yo, he's got this, he's got that. What about me, God? Started to compare. And in that moment, it was the spirit just came over me and said, nah, why? I got you. What's happening here? And there is an understanding of, okay, you want to be in a certain place, and sometimes you can see people who are there, especially the ones that are close to you, and sometimes you begin to think of you put in, right? You put in all these things you made these deposits into God's his bank of gifts, and you think that because you served him, you worked for him, that you're owed something. And I had to really come to grips with that. That's been a theme that's been reoccurring. And when you step into that space, hey, my brother, good to see you, of that tempted to compare, especially in an envious way, send a blessing. That's what the Spirit said to me. Yo, send a blessing. So I was like, let me send a blessing to my cousin. Let me send more love to him. I hope his stuff expands. I hope, you know what I'm saying? And it was all love from him to me. I remember 10 years ago, he told me, he said, I get it. You're traveling, you're doing the missionary, all this type of stuff, but you need to have a base. And that was 10 years ago. And it took me about 10 years to get there. So you need to have a base. And now that I finally have a base back in Orlando, it's been something to help me. It's been keeping me grounded, So when you're tempted to compare, especially in an envious way, man, why do they have a cool podcast? Why they got to have it? Why they got that car? Why they got this? Why they have that? Just see where you're at. Where you're at is dope. And where you're going is dope, right? And we want to just send those people blessings that we want to compare ourselves to. Wish the best for them. And stay focusing on what you're called to do. And as you do that, you're going to get to where you need to get to. I remember when my cousin broke down the game for me, when he was telling me about this, about that, and he showed me, and it takes time for you to get to where you're supposed to get to. It takes time. It's a process. It's a marathon, right? And you're definitely going to get there by the grace of God. You will, So that was comparison. And there's just some lessons on that of just sending blessings. Ask yourself, does it serve a purpose right now? And with that being said, knowing that, hey, you are in the right place where you're at, whether you're in a struggle or not, you're going to get to where you got to go. So second thing that came up, man, was about legacy and leaving a legacy. I saw Yas on here. She's got a sweet baby boy. Legacy, leaving a legacy. I mentioned to you that the young lady, when I saw her at the church, was like telling me about myself and telling me, yo, I know this about you from this person, and they would always say this and this. They would always be like, why aren't you guys? I was like, damn, they were using me to beat these people over the head. They'll be like, yo, why aren't you guys going out there and doing this? Gerard would do this and this and this. And when they say Gerard, that's talking about for me from back in the day. He would be out there passing out flyers, hustling, whatever it is. And it's just interesting because those guys, those people that she's telling me would tell her all these things, they've never said that to me. We've just had conversations. It's been a mutual respect and love, but I've never known how they viewed me and how, I guess, how they've seen me, So what legacy are you leaving, right? What legacy are you leaving out there for the world? Like, what's the imprint that you're putting on the world, man? Gandhi said, right, hey, be the change that you want to see, right? Or you want to be, or something like that. And when I think about that, that's a really dope thing. I mean, there was something what happened to me the other day where I was thinking like, I want to like talk to people in a certain way. I want to respect people. I want to see people. I want to value people. So I got to be that. I have to begin to do that to people. I got to be the change that I want to see. So what's the legacy, man, that you're leaving, And as I'm at my sister's baby shower, I remember one of my older cousins, he said something to me. He was like, he had on some fly sneakers. And he was like, yo, I rock sneakers like this now because of you. And I was like, what? He was like, he was like, okay. He was like, because of you, Because I used to really be on the sneaker tip back in the day, like real talk, like heavy. The sneaker game is saturated right now. I don't want to talk about it. But hey, Warren, what's up, man? The sneaker game is saturated. But I used to really be into that. And I guess how I was carrying myself with certain things maybe not coming off in a way where I thought I was the ish and all that, or whatever. It was just cool that he said, because of you, what's the legacy that we're trying to leave? Are others going to be inspired to do things that we're doing? Hey Drew, what's good, man? Hey, check your messages. I sent you a message on Insta about your cousin. Check that out. But yeah, what's up, boss? Are others going to be inspired to do what you do, right? Are others going to take something from you? Are they gleaning from you so that they can grow? Are you yourself? Are you able to look back at yourself and be like I'm okay with the last 10 years of my life. I'm okay with the last, because I remember when I moved back to Orlando, man, I was wrestling, y'all. It was so hard for me because I confused my current position with my mission. And I disregarded a lot of the things that happened to me, Hey, what's up, Kev? I disregarded long time. I disregarded like all the places that God took me, all the experiences that I had. And I was like, man, right now I don't have this. So I negated like the last 10 years of like a whole bunch of dope stuff that many people don't get to do. Traveling the world, helping people, like blessing people. Like I got to experience wonderful things, amazing things. But I confused my current position for my mission, and I was like, man, I didn't leave a legacy. I was a little off with the thinking, but then I realized, as I feel that the Creator God was just helping me, showing me, and helping me to answer the question, what are you about? You've always been about this. So if this is what you're about, this is who you are, and this is, your current position, you might think, okay, because you don't have certain material things that you're less than, but that's just not the case. And I want to encourage you today just to know that as well, that you may not have access or have in your possession certain material things, but who you are to the core, it's greater. Where you're going is greater. Pete in the building, what's good? Those things are greater. And I looked back at the last 10 years and I was just thankful, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, this didn't happen this way. This didn't happen that way. And I had to really change my thinking because I was a doer instead of a beer. You have to be instead of just doing. Because sometimes you get confused, and we've talked about it before, that you do so much with an expectation. And I have a friend of mine who has a saying that talks about saying that like false expectations, when those things aren't met, that leads to suffering. I'm butchering what she says. Shout out to Jamila. I'm butchering what she says. We want to also shout out my brother Paulo for he's a designer, Saints Gallery Edifying Art, right? He designed this shirt right here, Sweet Somethings Podcast, pretty cool. Just want to shout him out, Also want to shout out Launch Radio for allowing us to be here today, Windsor and Blade Barbershop as well. But yeah, those were those two things, comparison and then legacy. What's the legacy, guys? Because even when we think about kids, the kids that we want to have and all that, what legacy are we leaving for them, right? And this is kind of multifaceted with financial, emotional, mental. Are you prepared to walk alongside little ones and raise them up in this world? You know what I'm saying? It's dope. So legacy was a second theme, and I had to be. I'm just thankful. I heard the young lady say some things. I heard my cousin say some things. So it just takes me back to the person that I was and who I'm becoming, who I still am, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to the Creator for what He's been doing, for me and in my life. My last theme for the month, guys, was reconnecting. I got a chance to reconnect with some people that let's say I was friends with maybe for years, and then we just stopped being friends, lost contact, XYZ. Old best friend that we had kind of parted ways. You know what I'm saying? Shade, what's good? I see you. And I got to connect with another friend as well. And I started to think, what is it with people in our lives? who's supposed to be here for a reason, who's supposed to be here for a season, who's really supposed to be here. Because sometimes it seems as though you can space out from people and they'll come back, or there's certain people that they're there, and there's certain people that are gone and they gone. They off into the dust, like, you know what I'm saying? So I've been just thinking about that as I've been like looking back. Are there people that are always supposed to be here, right? Are there people that are supposed to be in more proximity to you? And with that being said, what should we do now with those people we do have those good connections with? How can we build on those? How can we ensure that those connections will last, right? Because I'm looking back and I'm just like, dang, do I got people that I'm locked in with from like elementary, from like middle school, high school? Like, not really. I'm talking about locked in. I'm like, what happened, right? What went on? And I feel like as I was able to reconnect with certain people just this month, I was able to just think about, there's space between me and some of these people, but for the ones that I'm locked in now, I saw my dog Pete on there and others. Let me build on that. Let me water that plant and allow. You got to make sure both people are watering. Build on those connections, because it's cool to navigate life knowing yourself and understanding you, but it's also dope when we need it to navigate with people and to have those special connections to last, because you need people to go through life with, to learn, to grow, and to flow. You know what I mean? So it's just a real dope thing just to know that, and to have people in your life like that. So it was really cool that I got to reconnect with some people, and we'll see how these things last. What I've learned is to not put too much pressure on connections, and I think that's what makes it special, when you don't put the pressure on it, when you're just like, okay, I'm cool with this person, and we're flowing through life. Don't put the pressure on it, and everything kind of works out when you do that. So those were the themes this month that really had me thinking. Comparison, right? Let me just compare myself with myself. Let me try to just be a better me. And if I do begin to compare with someone else, and envy or feel a certain type of way, send them blessings, right? You could even ask them maybe for advice, XYZ, but just send love and blessings. Legacy, what type of legacy are we leaving? What's our imprint going to be on this earth? Who are we? What are we trying to really do while we're here, right? And the last thing with reconnecting, man, which was kind of cool, but that reconnecting allowed me to think about the people that I'm in connection with now and what I want to do with those connections. So I want to encourage you this month to be somebody who sends blessings to others. Compare yourself just with yourself and not with anybody else, right? Hey, Christina, what's up? Also, leave a legacy. Leave a special imprint. You are legacy. You are. Navigate life just knowing that people are watching you, whether you realize it or not. People are wanting to see what's up. How are you showing up? My friend a long time ago, I'll reference him. He says, what is expected of you? So that legacy is something, Christina, thank you for that message. So many good memories. Yeah, we do have to catch up for sure, my dear. Would love to do that. I'm gonna just hit you up, real talk. You got my word on that. And for that last thing, I just wanted to share with you guys just a bonus that has reoccurred this month. A theme, and I decided to take a chance and say, hey, my friend and I were talking about going on dating apps and just putting ourselves out there and seeing what that's like. So just getting in the swing of connecting with people romantically, or trying to, for lack thereof. And I realized something, that sometimes there's some lengths. This is bonus. I wasn't really planning to talk about this, but I have to, because it's in the month. It's reoccurring. Sometimes we go to certain lengths, man, to get certain things, whatever it is that you're looking for, desiring, romantically. It could be X, it could be Y, it could be Z, or it could be S. But we go to certain lengths for certain things to get, and whether it be validation, it can be a feeling, and I'm just like, man, why am I risking so much? Like, what, like, why? Like, why am I wasting certain things? I remember someone said, if they can't be on your team, don't do it. Team, they said, time, energy, emotions, and money. If you're not about, like, doing that with that person, why are you doing it? Why they're not on your team? Why are you doing that? And I like spent money. I was like, I don't even got money. Like, it was crazy that one of my friends, I actually had an overdraft the other day. My friend, he had sent me some money. I was going to eat food with somebody that I met on like Bumble. And it was just interesting. I was just like, Court in the building. I was like, is this really, like, what am I really doing here? Like, for real, like, I mean, the person's cool. Don't get me wrong, like, they're cool and stuff like that. But it's like, is this really, really what and where I'm at? And it's like the lengths we go for what? Like, what am I really seeking and desiring here? And I think that there's some soul searching that's necessary, especially I just want to say, before you really jump out into allowing yourself to connect with somebody, especially on that romantic front, man, just do some soul searching. Just like see, like, okay, like, what am I really trying to do? Like, and be okay with what you're trying to do, whatever it may be. But, like, don't forfeit your future for the moment. Don't connect or, like, try to make a connection when it's not really, really to deep down. In the moment, you could be like, okay, this is cool. I'm vibing with somebody. I might have a little fun later, whatever, But it's like, I mean, really? Like, is it really what you want? Super easier said than done. Well, I was living it out, right? Telling you guys. And it's just such a tough thing. So I just wanted to just say that, as we were ending out here, just a bonus in regards to just connecting romantically, being back in the swing of love and stuff like that, man. Don't do things at the detriment of, to your own self. Don't risk so much. I'm like, what were you doing? So I'm hoping, that fresh start in March, to go into March with I've learned to be gentle with myself. I understand that, I'm navigating life really. I'm just a child out here, man. Child of the Creator, just trying to figure it out. And I'm gonna end with this. Just as you're just going through, man, put you first. We talked about that at the beginning. Put you first, and if it's not what you want romantically, don't go forward. It's hard. It is hard, especially in this climate, in this day and age. It's just like, it's different. It's a lot different than even 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's hard, but if it's not your flow, don't go. And I get it, and I'm speaking to myself, because, like, there's a part of me that wants one thing, and there's a part of me who wants another thing. And I had to ask myself, which one's more important? So do I want to, like, feel good with this person and the cuddles and whatever that might lead to? Or do I want to, like, meet somebody I could spend the rest of my life with, right? And that's just for me, right? So I had to, like, sit with those. Like, which one's really more important right now? Try to go with the thing that's more important. And make decisions based off of that, because that's really what's at the core. That's really what's going to speak to you later on. Because when you go with the other thing, it's like just for that moment, and it's not really going to satisfy you in the end. So just wanted to encourage y'all and leave y'all with, that was a bonus. I wasn't planning on talking about that, but I felt like I needed to. I feel like it was freeing for me, a little liberating for me to do that. But yeah, so hey, that was our February 2023 recap. You can check it out on YouTube. We should be on there. The video had kind of cut out in the middle, but we'll make it work. Part 1, part 2. Check us out on Spotify and all the other places where you can find podcasts. I hope that this episode was a blessing to you and that you were able to glean so that you could grow. And check us out for the rest of the year. We're going to have some people on here in which we will be, having some guests and stuff like that. So it's going to be dope. Hey, well, blessings to you out there. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your evening. And hey, just remember, I'm just thinking of the tagline. I need one, right? But just remember, hey, man, you're special. You're dope. Continue to sit down and assess, yourself and your month and see what it's like and see what's happened from the last month to now so that you can continue to grow and flow. All right. Hey, blessings to you. All right. And take care. All right. Bye-bye.